Hey everybody, it is Champ Chat. We are ready to rock and roll. I've got my two favorite friends with me tonight. We've got Paddy Power and
Hello.
and the Blue Bastard. Hey, how you doing? Hello. You in there? Nothing? Oh, boo. Boo.
John's away, busy watching his team win.
I gotta think Nick Donnellan made that. made that in the Discord.
Yeah, I
I've been
saw that.
asking for it. I've been asking for it. It was made, laugh, made me laugh. This is fantastic. If you don't know, if you're out, if you're not in the on the inside of that joke, it's a reference to the Green Bastard from Trailer Park Boys. So if anybody's seen Trailer Park Boys, that's that's the reference to the green bastard. Of course, John's our blue bastard. So anyway, so what's up, Patty?
All good. Yeah, enjoyed some matches. Not bad results. Happy, happy.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Good weekend. Would have been nice to get a win for us, but a draw's not the end of the world.
Nope. Good position in the table.
Yeah, yeah. After tonight, I think that drop Birmingham getting a win that drops us to 10th. Uh, but yeah, I think we were actually going to drop no matter what the result was on that, weren't we? I think
Yeah, yeah,
draw. If it was a draw, they would have went ahead of us, and then if
yeah,
they lost,
because Watford would have jumped us.
Watford would have jumped
Whoever
us. So
won,
we're
the
dropping
draw
no
was
matter
enough to
what.
push Birmingham ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't really matter what happened. Um, but yeah. All right. Well, so what we got? What do you want to get into first, buddy?
Well, let's go for the big news everyone has been talking about. Sheffield Wednesday are going to get relegated.
For sure, for
We've
sure.
never covered that before.
And just in case you weren't sure, they deducted points again.
Right. So, yeah, the news that came out just a day ago, 2 days ago maximum, was that Sheffield Wednesday have been deducted another 6 points, and the previous owner, Deepan Chanseri, or whatever the hell his name is, he is no longer permitted to be an owner or director of a football club for 3 years. So
That's
he
not
won't be
near
back
long
for at
enough.
least 3 years.
It's not near long enough. 3 years is not long enough. Like for seriously, like if you do what he did to a club, surely that's a lifetime ban. Like, come on.
I highly doubt he'll pass the owner's director's test if he tried to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, he just ran that thing into the mud. I mean, I saw that it was only 3 years, and I was like, geez, that's not enough. I mean, at least like 10 or something, like like something. Like, no way 3 is enough.
Okay, so I have an article. Let's go through it quickly and
Mhm.
see what's in it. And I will explain why they got another deduction and what it's for, etc. The article kind of does it. So we'll quickly go through it if I actually put it in a place where I can see it. Okay, Sheffield Wednesday get extra points deduction as Chancery is banned. Sheffield Wednesday have been given a further 6 point deduction by the English Football League for regulation breaches, leaving them 27 points from safety in the championship. Former owner Defan Chanseri has also received a 3 year ban from owning or being a director of any EFL club. So they're just going by a Prem club. BBC Radio Sheffield reports their latest deduction follows the failure to pay players in March, May, and June, as well as other non payments to staff and HMRC, which is the tax office in the UK and Britain. The latest ruling leaves them on minus 10 points and 27 points behind Swansea in 21st, just outside the relegation zone. Investigations are continuing into the club's conduct during the current season, but the EFL says it is not seeking to deduct any further points. Okay, blah, 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 etc. So no need to go through the rest of it then. Right, so why, if they've already got 12 points deduction, why have they got more points? Very simply, the first 12 points was an absolute automatic that was instituted against any club who enters administration. So it's an administration penalty. Simple. This 6 points is a further penalty, which is specifically about not paying wages. So if you had a scenario earlier in the year where Chansiri managed to scrape enough money together, paid the players and staff on time, he wouldn't have this 6 points, but he would still have the 12 if the club still went into administration. So it's one of these scenarios. Do you want the club to get away with not paying the wages and the staff from earlier in the year? Well, no, probably not. Something had to be done for general fairness. So they got hit with that. And I'm pretty sure the new owners were aware that this was coming.
Yeah.
And I think by putting in the article that they're still going to investigate them, but they're not going to add any more points, is basically just saying we have to give you something, we have to kind of follow the rules, but we're not going to do it anymore. Kind of like, look, if you're after someone for committing a crime and the guy's dead, what's the point in doing a court case? It's just a waste for everybody. So they're not going to dig any further as such. And that's it. So now, that just puts the absolute nail in the coffin that they can't go and get some Premier League star, take him on loan or take him as a freebie, and then score a shed load of goals and get themselves out of the relegation zone. I think this really does it.
Yeah, I was listening to Simon Jordan. It's been maybe a week ago or maybe a little less, a few days ago, and he was talking about I guess he had put together a consortium or something and tried to was in one of the what they come down to, like 11 groups that were interested in Wednesday. And I think the way he kind of made it sound like he wasn't happy with the money that Chansiri is going to end up getting out of the deal. By the way, it's just the way it was going to work out. Like, and we talked about this. Like, there's a certain because of the way administration works, he's going to be able to get more money than they felt like was worth doing. So they kind of decided against it. So interesting.
I don't know if I believe him.
Yeah,
I think the general point is sound, but I was having a look through the figures, and basically there is a rule in place that if the debtors don't get 25% of what is owed, then the club can be kicked out of the league completely and lose their position within the EFL, or what would normally happen is they would get further points deductions, but that would come next season. So this is why the administrator has basically said he needs 25% of the debts. That's roughly 30 million. And when I was looking through the debts that were owed and who they were owed to, a significant chunk of that 30 million is to secured debt and football related issues that have to be paid first. And that is not Chansiri himself. So I initially thought, yes, he would end up with a significant chunk. But having looked at the figures, I don't think it will be a crazy amount in this case. But the general point that he was trying to make is that this rule doesn't really make any sense. Because it kind of forces the hand that you have to get 25% back. And if that is the case, then an owner who's aware of this can put a lot of debt and loans onto the club in the hope that he will at minimum get his 25% back.
Right.
So I understand that. But yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than Simon was kind of putting to it. Chansiri's debt is the last debt to be paid, but it does count in organising the 25%. Doesn't mean that he'll actually get 25%. There are other debts that could get more first.
Mhm.
That because there are debts that will be paid 100% first, and that will bring down the other percentages. So it's a little up in the air how much you will get. But yeah, it could be worth 10 million. Who knows exactly?
Mhm.
But it's not a lot for the club, considering he was trying to hold out for
Right. Yeah.
100 million. It's
Yeah. No
still
doubt.
minor, but I get his point, and I kind of agree with his point in general.
Mhm. Yeah. We'll see. I think it's is it Friday? They're thinking they're gonna have their exclusive
Exclusivity,
bidder or whatever. Whatever they're
yeah.
calling that.
And
So.
of course, that will be under NDA. So everybody will know about it the second it actually happens.
Mhm.
Those NDAs are not worth a damn.
Yeah.
Rumors go straight out immediately as to who it is and what it is. So yeah, we should know more. I put up a comment there that I can't remember who said it, but that Sheffield Wednesday shouldn't be punished for Chancery. Well, Chancery is Sheffield Wednesday. What's your point on this? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to get punished, and unfortunately, it's the club. You know what I mean? Like it's not their fault per se, but at the same
It,
time, somebody's got to get blamed. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he is. This is the problem. He is the club. The club is him. He owned it. It was his,
yeah,
and
right.
he was responsible for it. But it is ultimately
Hmm.
the club is him slash
Yeah,
was him, and now it'll be
right.
somebody else. So yeah, you just have to kind of take it on the chin. It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't type things. You know,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think. I mean, like I said, somebody's got to get hit with regulations. Here's the thing: if you didn't, and then there comes up another situation where, say, a team goes into administration, but then somehow the owner keeps it and comes back out of it,
Hmm.
uh, then is it fair to them if you didn't do it to Wednesday, but now you're going to do it to them because they kept their owner? I know it's kind of an oddball situation. It'd be a tough
Well,
situation, but you know what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like,
I,
there's
I do. I can even make that simpler.
yeah,
Let's say that they've actually done okay, Sheffield
hmm
Wednesday. Like if they had actually pulled off a couple of wins
hmm
and then they get new owners and they didn't
hmm
get this 6 points.
right, yeah,
Imagine if they pulled themselves
yeah,
and scraped their way out of relegation and
hmm
survived in the league. Is that fair to the League One teams and to the team that gets knocked out? It's like, what punishment do you want to give? The whole
yeah,
point of giving points is to get you relegated. And
yeah,
it's the reason I don't like it is because if you have a scenario like this with a different team who actually can play football, then they can survive.
hmm
For me, it's just relegate them. End of.
yeah,
I that's it. Like you're being relegated. You're in administration. You can't function. You're not staying in the league. I
hmm
don't like the idea of someone coming in now and making massive changes in January and surviving, and ultimately then having what very little slash none, no negative consequences.
yeah. It's a good point from Sean. The club
Mm,
benefited from Chancery to start with. Him
throwing money,
throwing money
yeah.
at it, there needs to be punishment to the club.
Mm,
Unfortunately, yeah, I agree with that.
yeah.
It's a fair point.
Like as an example, there, consider Leicester, right?
Hmm
What would happen if the owners, who own King Power, if their main business shut down? Because there was rumors that it's in really dodgy financial situation. If that went into administration, and ultimately that forced the club into administration because the owners couldn't afford it, they might have a team that can survive.
hmm
So what punishment would it be?
Right.
You get a couple of points, you survive this year, you have new owners, and you're still in the league.
Yeah.
But other people are nicer about this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I actually don't hate what you're saying. Like, just automatic relegation. If you go into administration, maybe it's just automatic relegation, and That's it. Maybe that's not a terrible idea. I don't know. Maybe it's too harsh. I don't know. But at a certain point, like if you're getting what is it? It's 12 points, right? Was the initial
12 is the
12 is the auto that's
yeah,
automatic.
automatic. Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's I mean, if you're giving them that, you're kind of like, here, get relegated. you know, like I don't know. It's strange,
It's
I guess.
it's also why I don't like having points deductions in the Premier League, because it only in theory works if you're a weaker club where it's
Yeah,
going to hurt you and
right.
push you down the table. If you're up the top of the table, you can spend and spend and spend all you want, and then you can have one season where you get hammered with points, and it doesn't matter. You end up mid-table. Who cares?
So you just now you've got I want to throw something out there. It's kind of now we're veering off into some Prem League stuff. Uh, Man City. What's going to happen there? And what if they get? Obviously, we're making an assumption here, but let's say they do get. Or I don't know what you call it, but it's proven that they did do the
Mhm.
things that the Premier League alleged they did.
Yeah.
With the 115 charges, or let's say at least some of them, maybe not all
Mhm.
of them, but surely they've got them on something. If they got them on something, what kind of deduction? Like, what do you do to a team in that? I mean, because this is stuff going back, what, 15 years or something? Like, some of this stuff is old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like and they've been, you know, benefiting from those misdeeds or whatever. I I don't know what you do to a team like that that makes sense, really. You know what I mean?
Drop them to League Two.
Dude, I mean, I just can't, like, I don't know. But realistically though, like, if you did that though, like, I mean, obviously they'd have to buy out basically their entire payroll. Like, if you're, I mean, maybe they're under 18s or whatever, you wouldn't have to, but like anybody else that's on a contract, like, you can't take care of those contracts down in League Two. No chance.
No, and this is partly why I think there should be automatic clauses with every single contract, that all the teams should have to work within, including the idea of like automatic termination
Mm-hmm.
upon relegation,
Mm-hmm.
with certain restrictions or whatever. The ability should be there. And I think players should take it a little bit on their head that if you're going to a club that is facing relegation, then you may have to walk away from this club if they get relegated.
Well, I mean, I know, like, I've seen clauses. I mean, you can put a clause in a contract that says
If they agree
if
to
you
it.
get relegated, if you get relegated. I mean, to be honest,
Hmm?
we were the
We,
benefactors of one. We got
yeah,
Hardy. He had a 750,000 pound
yeah.
clause in his contract that was even, as a cheap buyout. So yeah, I mean, that's a thing. Like, it's not like it's unheard of to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that, like, if you sign for Man United or Man City or Arsenal, like, you're probably not worried about putting that in your that in your contract. You know what I mean? But who knows what happens with it? That's going to be so interesting to see what happens to Man City. I'm pretty interested to see how that goes.
Okay. I just saw it in chat here. We'll have to veer a second. Sean is calling us out a little bit. So, Hasification said the problem with a lot of owners is that they're not looking at the long-term sustainability. They're looking for a quick route to the Prem by splurging on players and then hoping for the best. Yes, the money in the Prem is so excessive that owners will put money in hopes of getting up there and staying there. Now, Shawnee, maybe you don't know us that well. I mean, isn't that what Wrexham are doing? Okay. That's what Wrexham were doing. I would agree with that for National League and maybe part of League Two. Yes, they put money in order to be promoted. almost kind of taking a loss, putting loans on the club, which was about 15 million. And then they got removed when they brought in new ownership, so they cleared them. But now we are spending money that we're actually earning. So we are sustainable. The only thing that we would have to do if they wanted to remain sustainable in the long term is stop spending. You know, we have the money there to survive where we are. Everybody invests to push forward, but then you're rolling the dice on losing that money. But the second you stop doing it, we are actually comfortable in the championship. We have very high revenues compared to other clubs, and it will be very interesting to see how we stack up revenue wise to you guys in next year's accounts. Actually, that'll be really interesting to see.
Is Sean saying, well, the money you're making is mostly from the show. Actually, we don't make any money from the show. We make money because our sponsors can get onto the show. We don't have any direct revenue from the show. But I'll give you the point that sure, maybe we wouldn't get the sponsors we get if we didn't have the show. So let's just say our owners sold tomorrow, your club would be stuck with massive wages and your revenue would be significantly lower. Maybe. I doubt it though, because now they've created this massive overseas following that aren't just going to quit because Rob and Ryan sell the club. So I
Yeah,
mean, us two being two of those people, like we're not just going to stop. Rob and Ryan sold. Me and Patty are done. You know.
I I do take your point,
Mm-hmm.
but you're slightly wrong in the way you're thinking about it. Yes, the money generated by the club is from the Welcome to Wrexham show, but not directly. It's because of the exposure on the show, the fact that our logos are all over the show, stuff like that. So if it went away tomorrow, it would slowly reduce our revenue. It wouldn't be instant. We have gained a very large following, and you can assume that that will slowly drop off with certain people over the next year, 2, 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
once the show stops. And then, yeah, you're in the same scenario as other clubs. Do the owners just invest money in that big push to get up to the Prem? Or do we naturally just find our level? And where is that level? It would probably be mid table, maybe lower championship. And worst case, after a couple of years, maybe we slide back down to League One. Assuming you want to be sustainable, and that's where you want to be. So yeah, a lot of money coming in now that is being used. So we're not financed by loans or debt or anything else. The club actually has no debt whatsoever. So it was set up that way, and the loans were cleared when they took the investment. And the club is still set up for investment because they wanted to get cheap loans for the stand and be ready for further investment later. But as it is, it looks like that further investment is going to come from our investors we already have, the Allen family. It appears that they're willing to put in more money to have a greater share of the club when it's needed. So if we do go up to the Prem, if we escape through the playoffs, or given another couple of seasons of getting better players, when we get up to the Prem, it's very likely they're going to have investment, who knows, maybe 100 million to be dumped into the pot with the money coming from the Premier League in order to try and stay there. So yeah, I get why people say what you say, but we're actually in a much better spot than other clubs now.
Right.
It was a little gamble at the start. Money was invested. The club was in ruins, so they needed to put money in. And ultimately, only having 15 million in debt that got paid off is not a bad place to be.
Oh shoot. Yeah, that's interesting. What else? Or something it seemed like before we went on that detour, we were gonna hit something else, and
We hit the Prem. So
yeah, we hit the
I,
Prem. Where were we going? I feel like I was gonna go somewhere, and I can't remember where I was gonna go now. Oh, I did have a starred comment. We can hit that
okay,
real quick if you want.
yeah,
That Jimler said also, not on topic. The under-18s play at the racecourse Wednesday in the FA Youth Cup versus Port Vale. For me, it'd be the first time seeing official club communication on the under-18s. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I actually just heard on Mark Griffith's Patreon page. that he will be calling that match. He doesn't think
Cool.
it's going to be videoed, but there
Audio.
might be audio available. So if anybody's interested, you can check that out. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I might check that out. Depending on, I need to check the time on that and all that. I don't know off the top of my head, but I
Okay.
might give that a listen and check that out. So that was some kind of, again, off topic, but
Yeah.
since we're going off topic.
The other thing that I will save till later, and we'll see what time we have, was the new rules and regulations in the Prem. I looked into it a little bit more, so we can talk about that a little bit. But on a tangent that is relevant, seeing as we brought up Wrexham, why not switch it to Birmingham? So, what's this? we haven't put it up on the show. In the chat right now, yes or no, like it or don't like it? I like it.
I actually like it. I know we talked about this last week, but I enjoy it. I thought it was creative. I thought it was really cool, actually. So I like that it's different. I don't like that it's. I don't like the same old, same old. You know what I mean? It just. And I think some people do like that. They just want it to look like a football ground, But I want it to look. I like stuff to stand out. Like I like our cop that we're building is going to be different. It's not going to look, normal. I think it's cool. Some of the
likes it and Jimmy
likes it. Jimmy John Pinko says that is horrendous. Tell us how you really feel.
Right. So just in case anyone isn't aware, the main reasoning behind the chimney towers obviously is to harken back to the factories that had those towers. But why it's important for the actual stadium and stand itself is you can barely see it on the picture. I don't know if you can. I can.
Yeah, you can.
Just above the Birmingham logo on the left, you can actually see suspension wires.
Yeah.
So they were going to need to have a very tall pillars or posts in order to hold up the roof. So because of needing to do that, they decided, well, why not build it into the actual plan itself, change the pillars to the chimneys, and go for that instead. And as far as I read, 2 of them are going to have access to the roof, and they're going to have like a bar area with viewing platforms and restaurants, so you can look out over the city, which I think is pretty cool and interesting.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I like that it's actual structure. It's not just cosmetic. It's actually a structural component to it, and I just liked everybody's calling them the chimney sweeps in the comments, but yeah, I think it was cool. I enjoyed it. Nothing. I don't mind being original, and that's fairly original there, as far as football grounds go. So, yeah, I like it. I actually do like it.
Yeah.
I also did like Sean, you may not like this, but and if we got any other Blues fans listening, but I did like I saw an Aston Villa fan put one up and made them look like giant dildos. That made me laugh. That made me laugh.
Yeah, so Bootcamp put up here as well. Love the nod to industrial culture of Birmingham. I don't think it would look exactly like that. Yeah, these always change a little bit. However, what is kind of interesting is it is an entire sports quarter, and there will be a lot of new buildings around it built up as well. And as far as I'm aware, all those new buildings will be in the same brick as the stadium. So the stadium will be partially hidden, although I don't know how well you can hide something that big. But anyway, the buildings around it will blend in with it with the same type of brick. Is the idea.
I will say this, it's going to be a lot uglier once Tom Brady puts his face all the way around that thing. But as you know he will. One will be a Nike ad with his face on it. The next one will be some other stupid thing with his face on it. His face will be all over that thing, guarantee it.
I'm sure we'll put Deadpool 4 on it.
Not that. Now you're talking. Let's pull in. Let's do it. We need to start a fund. We want to buy a Deadpool a Deadpool section in the Birmingham Stadium. We want to put a Deadpool on there. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it's going to be a massive, massive area campus once it's
Okay.
all done. And actually, this will link back to
Hmm.
the Prem rules
Hmm.
later if we have
Yeah.
time to do it. So that is some of the basic news stories. Will we hit what actually happened in the last week? We had a double match. We had a Saturday match and a midweek match.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So, quick little graphic here, guys. Let's take down that comment. It's in the way. Right. So, this is a little match graphic of who played who while we were in the last week. And I have done it top to bottom. I didn't move Birmingham because I forgot that they actually moved the spot once they won. But this is basically in table order. So Coventry is at the top. They won both their matches, took out Middlesbrough and Charlton. Good results for them.
Yeah. Obviously, Coventry are running away with this thing at this point. I mean, I don't. I can't see them. I just don't see how they finish outside the top two.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be a hell of a collapse at this point. I mean, they're 10 points clear. Uh,
More?
it's
12 now,
incredible.
isn't it?
Is it 12 now? I thought
It's
no.
gone up, yeah.
Has it? Oh, I thought it was 10.
Let's see. I'll double check here.
I thought Middlesbrough
Oh,
winning.
it came back. Yes, it's back to 10. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, I mean, but that's just it. Like if Middlesbrough slip up, then it extends. And I think let's see, I'll pull up the table so I can see it. Yeah, Millwall are on 31, so they're 2 points behind. So they're 12 points clear of third. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, of
So the
dropping out
10,
of
yeah,
automatics, yeah.
10,
Yeah.
yeah, 10 points clear of second, and then 12 points of third. So I mean, yeah, I mean, as well as they've been playing, it's just hard to imagine that they're going anywhere. And you know, Middlesbrough was always going to be a tough match for them, so to get that win, I think, was important. Charlton, you kind of expect them; they should be winning that one.
Yeah,
Somewhat of
because
a surprise.
it's like some people say, oh yeah, it's only 12 points. You can get that back quickly. You kind of can't. Very, very soon we're going to be mid season, which is roughly 23 matches left. So if someone hasn't pulled this gap back, let's just say it stays roughly the same, you're talking 4 losses in a row for Coventry and 4 wins in a row for whoever's chasing them to knock that back.
Yeah.
That is almost impossible to do, which means you're going to have to spread it out over a longer period, something like 10 matches or 12 matches. So if you end up halfway and you still have this lead, now it's early enough yet. They could, if they start dropping soon, okay, but we have no reason to think they will. But you're going to need at least, say, 10 to 12 matches to pull that back without an absolute catastrophe, like 2 or 3 of their very best players all going out as soon as the window closes, February 4th or whatever, yeah, so they're way out there. All right, Middlesbrough chasing. They obviously here lost to Coventry. They won their match against Derby, fairly straightforward. They're kind of expected. Millwall took a double win. Sheffield Wednesday, expected, and then Southampton. Decent win there for Millwall.
Yeah, I think that's a really good win. Southampton were what, 4 in a row? They'd won 4 in a row, I think, going into that one. So yeah, Millwall getting that win, I think that's a big result for them.
Yeah. Stoke then had a win against Charlton and a loss against Hull.
Yeah,
that's a mixed bag. They'll be unhappy with that.
Yeah, I think so. If I remember right, I think Hull won that late also.
3-2.
Yeah, I think it was
another
a late
3-2.
winner.
Yeah. Right. Then Preston North End had a draw with Watford, and a win against Sheffield Wednesday. Poor old Sheffield Wednesday
Yeah,
getting slapped by everybody. And some of those matches, they're not actually playing that bad.
no,
They're just getting a little bit unlucky and just
no.
can't
They actually,
hold for the whole time.
I think they're kind of unfortunate in this match. That match against Preston, they had one of their players had scored 2 goals. I think it was 2-2 at the time, and they got a penalty. Wednesday won a penalty, and so they sent that player. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. Up to take the penalty to get the hat trick, and I don't know if it got saved or if he missed it, but it didn't go in, and
Yeah.
so they end up 2, and Preston ends up getting the third to win it. So yeah, that's disappointing result for Wednesday. But not, and I guess really, you would probably wouldn't necessarily be super happy if you're Preston struggling to beat Wednesday at this point. You know what I mean? It's not like
Mm.
they've been playing well at all. So yeah,
Yeah, one of those like you just
yeah,
take your points and
yeah,
go
yeah.
chill out for a little bit, and that's an easier one to get over than losing when you deserve to win. You know,
Mhm.
slapping someone around for the entire match and losing one goal right at the end and losing all 3 points. Um, yeah, c'est la vie. So then we have Bristol. They played ourselves and had a loss, and then they played Portsmouth and a win. So 3 points out of the 6 there kind of kept them where they are. No real movement on them.
Right. Yeah.
Birmingham moved up a little bit. They had a draw versus West Bromwich Albion, which is a fairly decent result,
Hmm.
and then the win tonight against Watford.
Right.
Watford came back to 2-1, so
Yeah.
they allowed them to get back in, giving them an edgy end.
Yeah, if you looked at the stats of the game, I didn't get to watch it, but I did. The stats suggest that, and maybe Sean or somebody in the chat could give us a little info, but looked like Watford had the better of it in the second half. I think it was kind of it was a tale of two halves. It looked like Birmingham had all the ball in the first half, had pretty
Mm.
much controlled it 60-40, and then it was flipped on its head, and Watford had the ball 60-40. Now you'll say, probably I'm sure Birmingham were just
Sat
kind of
back with the two
sitting
goals.
back,
Yeah,
yeah, just sitting with the 2 goals, and we've seen him do that. So it's not a surprise that they would do that. So yeah, but yeah, held out, got a win. I think it's a good win. Um, maybe the draw against West Brom not great. West Brom aren't exactly flying at this moment. So you know.
okay. Next up, we have Hull. Um, Mixed bag for them. They had 2 difficult matches. So they
Yeah.
had Ipswich, and then they won. No, hang on. They lost to Ipswich. Sorry, yeah, they lost to Ipswich and then took out Stoke. So a big one there. 3 points and 3 points, keeping them in this kind of upper middle ground. Um, I don't think they're going to consistently be able to keep these points coming. They're going to hit a bad patch.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think we were talking, I think it was last
Mm,
week when we were talking about them. And I said,
still believe
the
it.
problem with them is they're just inconsistent. You
Yeah.
don't know which hole's going to show up. And, they can beat good teams, but then they can lose to bad teams. So it's, you know, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I think they'll probably be just outside the playoffs by the end of the season. Just not consistent enough to stay in them. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, obviously, nobody's going to begrudge them a loss to Ipswich, but a win win against Stoke, that's a solid win.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Get your points wherever you can.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, right. Next up is Ipswich. They played at Hull and won, and then they lost to Oxford. That's who was in my head. They have to be really upset at that result.
I don't.
They never win there. I know. Like history says that they can't
Yeah,
do it, but I still think that's mentality. That's
yeah.
history getting on top of you. That's craziness to me.
I can't.
Um,
I Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they lose that game.
this idea of a bogey team, no matter how bad they are,
Yeah.
like that's. Mhm.
Yeah, it's Ipswich is a team like it just. I keep saying, okay, they're starting to figure it out. They're there, and then they just it's just it's start and stop. You know what I mean? It's like 2 steps forward and then they take a step back. They can't quite get. I'm expecting them to take off and try to chase down Coventry, but I think we're starting to get to a point where I don't know if they can. You know what I mean? I don't think they can win the league. Now they can run down second, but I don't know that they can run down Coventry at this point because they're what's the points? I guess I can look it up real quick. They're
Mhm.
on Ipswich are on 27, and Coventry's on 43. So that's what a 16 is my math right? 16 points. Ah,
Yeah, they're slowly losing runway to catch up.
yeah, I
It's still early enough they can do it, and the reason I say that is mainly because of Southampton, because they have gone on such a run back to back to back with match wins and making it look easy. Ipswich could find that form, but I'm very surprised they haven't found it now because they were starting to look good,
mhm.
and now this loss is
Yeah,
a really poor loss.
right.
It's dented them because they were climbing. Now, let's be fair though, they do have a game in hand. So win the game in hand and they'll be significantly higher than they're looking right now. So we'll have to wait and see. Can they pull it out? Because they have to play Blackburn this week, isn't it? They're the only match midweek.
Yeah, they're midweek. That's their makeup game.
That's their makeup game.
That's the one that was rained out where Blackburn were winning, and then it got called off with what, like the 80th minute or
Yeah.
something like that. People made a big stink about it. So it'll be
So
interesting to see how that one goes.
I think they'll be expecting to win it. I think most people expect them to win that.
Yeah.
And they kind of needed to pull themselves a little bit closer. But their squad is good enough, their manager is good enough. Everything, if it comes together, they can drive up that table pretty quickly. But yeah, it's not looking great there. They're very inconsistent, and it's like you always will hope to get them on a poor performance, and they're beatable. So yeah, I think they have a great shot for second for the autos, but yeah, when are they going to do it? They're slowly climbing, so they're getting there.
Yeah.
All right, next up is the bad boys Wrexham. Right, who did we play? We played Bristol City in one of the best matches of the season, and then we had a dirty draw versus Blackburn on the weekend. It's not as bad as I thought. I rewatched the match actually. We did okay. But yeah, I really wish we had just stamped on that match
Yeah.
and kind
So
and kind of showed everybody in the table that like we're here. But we like being the underdogs. We like coming from behind. It suits our play style maybe a little bit
I
better.
I
Um,
uh I actually so Brandon had a wrestling tournament Saturday, so I missed like the first half of the game.
hmm.
And so by the time I started watching, we looked really good. So I was like, ah, we're pretty good here.
So you didn't
Other
bother
than
watching the first
score.
half
So
then?
I haven't watched it back yet. I need to. But oh shoot. We'll try to. So I'll just do this real quick. We'll try
Yeah,
to get
start
to
there
this
for the
at
end.
the end of the show, and we'll try to get this at the end of the show. We may talk about that when we get a chance.
Mhm. Okay.
Um, but yeah, I was particularly excited because we actually got to see Windass and Broadhead on at the same time
Yeah.
before before he even went more attacking and brought Smith on. So we actually saw that and looked pretty good. I enjoyed that. So yeah, always getting a late equalizer is always good, but I still wasn't happy with the draw. I want to see us get 2 wins in a row. We haven't done that yet, and that's what we need to do. If we start putting the win, draw, win, draw, win, draw, that's good. That's great.
Seven in
Man,
a
if we can,
row, no
if we could,
losses.
that's great. That's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
that's promotion form. I mean, that's 2 points a game.
Yeah.
But if you can start piecing 2 or 3 wins in a row, then you can really start pushing up the table, and that's what I'd like to. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, time for that. Second half.
Yeah, for
Second
sure.
half of the season. Yeah. Okay, next up, Derby. They had a win versus Swansea and then a loss versus Middlesbrough. Not unexpected, I suppose.
No, yeah, you definitely expect a win against Swansea.
They're playing like
Borough,
dog shit at the moment.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, Swansea's not good. Middlesbrough, I wasn't sure because it's his new manager's first game in. I think it was his first game in charge of Middlesbrough. So wasn't sure what to expect with him. Obviously, I did busy Saturday, so I didn't get to watch the game, or I haven't seen the highlights either. But I think you got to say that's a good win for Middlesbrough. I don't. Yeah, for Derby, I think they would have come in pretty confident. I think they'd have felt like they could have got something out of that game. I think they'll be disappointed not to get at least something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Kim Halvor's first match. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and they got a win, so happy with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then West Brom. Interesting they're down this far. Every time I think of West Brom, I think of them higher. So they had a draw versus Birmingham and then a win versus Watford. Good for them. Kept them moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I think I know me and you kind of chatted about this a little pre-show. I think that was important for their manager. He needed to get some points on the board. I think he's under a little bit of pressure. Um, so yeah, I think what's his name? I
Ryan
lost
Mason.
it again. Rim Mason. That's it. Keep wanting to say
Yeah.
Manning. I keep wanting to say Manning. I know it's not Manning. Mason.
The
Ryan
fans
Mason.
really want them out, don't they?
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't. I don't think we have any West Brom fans in the chat, but I wonder what their. Um. Oh, is that a
Good.
correction? West Brom beat Swansea, not Watford. Did we get that? Oh yeah, probably because Watford played today, so it wouldn't have been Watford.
Oh, I must have made a mistake. Okay,
Yeah.
Swansea.
Still, either way, so
Everybody
it
beats
stays.
Swansea.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody beats Swansea. Yeah, I think that you know, they needed some points though. And I think a draw against Birmingham's a good. I think they'd be happy with that. Because Birmingham's playing really well right now. And then yeah, beating Swansea. Court, like you say, everybody's beating Swansea, but yeah, I mean he needed 3 points. You know what I mean? So maybe that stays off the executioner for a little bit, and maybe keeps the job a little longer. But it'd be interesting. I would be interested to know what they felt like they should be accomplishing this season. Because
Yeah.
did the owners think they needed uh playoffs, or what was I do wonder where they would, because I don't know that I necessarily would have put them in the playoffs preseason. I don't remember where I put them, but
Yeah, I didn't put them in preseason, but one of those that depends on the season. They're very up and down, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. I don't know. I am surprised. Maybe it's just bad to watch. I don't know if it's just they're not fun to watch, and that's why the fans are so pissed off
Yeah,
about.
they're not happy with the style of play. But like I said to you, it's weird. I have it in my head they should be higher. And I even think they're higher until I see the results
Yeah,
and how far down the table they have slipped. And they're kind of holding in around it.
yeah,
But yeah, just not doing well enough.
yeah.
Okay, so that's the top half of the table, basically. Next up, slip to the bottom. First up, we have. In that first half, nobody had a double loss.
It's fair. It's good.
So we haven't hit a double loss yet.
Hmm.
Then we have QPR. They played Blackburn and Norwich.
Yeah, it's
A
another one.
win and a loss. Another
Another
3
one of
points.
those. Yeah, another one of those teams that just aren't consistent enough. I think they're a really good team when they're on. I mean, like when they played us, they looked amazing. They looked fantastic against us. But there's weeks where they show up and they just don't look good at all. I don't know. I know they've had a few injuries here and there, so maybe it's the injury bug that's caught them. But I mean, win against Blackburn, you're probably not surprised there by that. I wouldn't say. I would say QPR was probably the favorite going into that game, but
Yeah.
to lose against Norwich, who hasn't won in what would have been like 14 games or something like that, that's a tough loss. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't be happy with that at all.
New manager finally got a win.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think that was his third? Was that his third game in charge? Yeah, because they got beat
Yeah.
his first game. They got beat 4-0. Then they uh, uh, can't remember what did they. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't. Yeah, so they drew. Yeah, drew against Oxford. Sneaking, looking down the board there. But yeah, they so they got a draw and then they got this win. That's a big one for them. But we'll come on to them. So.
All right, next up then, Southampton. They had a loss on the board. They were on a nice big run. They absolutely tonked Leicester for a while until they started pulling them back. 3 goals ahead and then let 2 in. And Leicester had gone down in that match to a red card, did they? Or was that the previous match?
Don't remember offhand.
No, I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. That was the previous one. Yeah, so they pulled it back to 3-2, but it just wasn't enough. And then they had Millwall with a loss. So Southampton doing pretty well. They had been on a pretty good run. They were right down in the relegation zone. So they have stormed up the table. I know it doesn't really look it because they're still in the bottom half. But let's see if they can keep it going. This is what I was mentioning earlier about Ipswich. That if they can just hit that form for 4 and 5 matches in a row, although they're still climbing, their average is still high, even though they had that one bad result.
Yeah.
So yeah, Southampton. Did you see them heading up the table?
Well, you would think so. This is what I do actually. Now that I thought about it, where'd it go? I had a comment from earlier. What do y'all think about Southampton going with Eckert? So this is where it'll be.
Is it official?
No, I don't
No.
think they've
Okay.
said that, but I'm at least not that I've seen.
I'm starting to think I don't want them to.
Well,
I'm starting to think let them roll the dice.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if they'll go with him. It's always risky to go with somebody that was already there. But if you can't find a good candidate that you know what I mean, that's somebody you think could do better, maybe you go with him. But is 5 games long enough to really judge whether? And now, granted, they had a good run there, 4 in a row after the start they've had. But yeah, I mean that's great. But is that enough to say, yeah, you know what, let's go with him? Do you give him till Christmas? You know what I mean, and just kind of prolong it a little bit and keep your options those?
That's how I would do it.
I think so too.
I would give him a working contract,
Yeah.
an ongoing contract, and then I'd basically call him in, talk about a few bonuses, and say, right, we're just going to make a couple of amendments here.
Yeah.
We're going to increase your pay and other benefits and whatever, but we're not going to officially give you the post yet.
Yeah.
We're going to give you at the next 4 matches, and we'll revisit whether making it permanent or not, and just keep it sliding if they're happy.
Yeah.
They need to make the decision pre-January because the January window is coming. That's important.
Right.
Yeah. To get someone in who knows the players pre-January, but I guess that's already here. We're in December now.
Yeah.
So do you make the decision or not?
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I could. Obviously, the results are good, but I don't know. I think it's just depending on who you think you can get in. You know what I mean? I think I would. Because I just feel like is it a team that you really want to leave with somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience? In the championship. That I mean, yeah, he's got a good pedigree, but would you? I mean, there's some names out there that you could get that have done it, been there and done it. You know what I mean? So would you rather go with somebody like that? Um, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
I would almost prefer the shot at having the next big star manager.
Mm.
You know, I almost would.
So let's go with. So are you
Yeah,
saying stick with Eckert?
I would stick with Eckert with these results so far.
Mm.
Now, of course, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I would be
Mhm.
all over monitoring what is he actually doing as manager.
Yeah.
You know, what is he implementing and how is he taking care of everything? And you can very easily get feedback. They're all your staff. You know, you can monitor exactly what's happening and what people think and how everything is going and stuff like that. And yeah, if it looks good, I'd roll the dice with it. But it really comes down to is the playoffs the absolute? I guess it is for a team of their size.
Yeah.
How big a dice roll is it?
I don't know. Here's the other thing
Does
too.
a big manager guarantee you playoffs? I don't know that it does
Well,
either.
well, here's the other thing too, and Matt House kind of pointed towards this. Obviously, we don't know what the deduction will be, but apparently that's going down. I think this week. I think that the hearing or whatever they're doing
Yeah,
over that is
it was
that's
last week that they
was
were
it
doing
last week? Okay, so yeah, so we should be hearing about
hearings.
that soon. I
I
suspect.
would think so. Yeah, they usually like to
Um,
get these things out
yeah,
pre-Christmas if they
I know
can.
Al is saying he's hearing 9 points. I've heard anywhere from 6 to 12. So who knows? And then we've also heard that they could get an additional charge after that.
Yeah,
That could happen this season yet. So
yeah. So
maybe
this
it's
is like
maybe with that, is that something maybe I mean, I guess you could make
Matt
the
Al
argument both
can
ways. How
yeah
does that play into the coaching? How does that play into who do you end up with? You know what I mean? Who you go with?
yeah. See, this is the thing. I know Matt Al is all over this, and he's
Hmm.
absolutely dying for them to get hit with points. Um, but it was a little confusing because he said now there's three breaches. I think that's the point of the extra breaches.
The extra
So
breaches, right?
are they dealing with them all now in one go? And he's
Yeah,
like he was saying originally it was 12 points for one breach, but now is he specifically saying it's only 9 for all three? Because that doesn't make sense
yeah,
to me.
yeah, and yeah, and
Um,
I guess I was confused. I was conflating the two, wasn't I? But no, because Southampton's the one that they don't have. Leicester are having issues.
yeah,
But Marty Cifuentes is their coach. Is he could be on the chopping block because they've not been good.
yeah,
Um, and to Sean's point, doubt Leicester would get playoffs even if they got the deduction. Yeah, I had them two together and I was conflating the two. I
yeah.
think,
Yeah, let's go back
but
to Southampton because Leicester's
yeah, go
coming
back to
soon.
Southampton. Yeah. Go to Southampton. So yeah, but
Like,
with them, I think, yeah, I don't know. It's a
do you
coin
think
flip.
that's the thing? Do you think a new manager will get them into the playoffs? Their team
I
is
think
good enough.
I think they've got a really good team. I
Yeah.
think a good manager could absolutely get that team in the playoffs. I think a good manager could absolutely get that team competing for that second spot. Still,
Have they got a good manager?
there's one.
They
I
might
don't know if
have.
they do. I don't know,
We
but I
don't
know there's
know.
good ones.
That's the thing. We
I
don't
know
know how
there's
good
good
he
ones
is.
out there, though. I know there's good ones out there, though, that they could get. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
do you know what? The thing is, let's say you don't give it to him now
Hmm.
and he goes back to his U21. Are you setting him up to be the next manager? Because I don't think they're going to be brave enough to make that call then. Like, then he's still only going to be under 21s.
And would you want to take a job if you knew that your replacement's already there?
Well,
Uh,
yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of it like that. If they if they had him do the U21s. Uh, I don't
He'll be
know,
sitting
man.
there. Yeah.
I don't know. I think um
Okay.
so
Sean's calling
actually
you out. Who's the
Call me
good
out.
ones, Aaron?
Oh,
Who's the good managers they can take?
well, I think, well, for one, I mean, Russell Martin did it with him. I know a lot of people don't like Russell Martin, but I mean, he proved at this level that he can win at Southampton. Would he go back? I don't know, but he did it. I would say, uh, here's here's a shout, and I don't know that he'd even take the job, but I think he's done a really good job as an interim here recently. And again, this might be his level might be higher than, or he may feel his level is higher than this. Martin O'Neill has stepped in at Celtic and really turned them around and gotten them playing really well. Um, I think he wants to. I think he wants to get back into managing. I don't think that'd be a terrible appointment. Maybe there'd be some people disagree with that. I think he's been pretty good. Um, who else was out there? Who was getting linked? There was another name. I'm blanking on. There was a name that was got linked, I think, to every job and didn't get any of them. And not Russell Martin. There's another one. Trying to think. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. There was another name. I just can't remember the name. There was another one that was really good. And then there's some there's managers that are out there that are in jobs that I think they could get back. I don't know.
Okay, moving on. Watford, they're doing pretty okay, but I don't see them going crazy high. They're after having a draw with Preston and a loss to Birmingham. I think this is the start of their little slide. They'll stabilize somewhere in the mid bottom table.
Yeah, that's honestly, they're about where I figured they'd end up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think they're probably about where they're going to be. Another team that's just inconsistent. You know what I mean? They can play really well and get good results against good teams, and then, and then sometimes you know, they don't. They just don't turn up. I don't think a draw against Preston's a bad draw. You know, and I don't think that's a bad result. And honestly, I mean, a loss to Birmingham is not a bad result either. But I think there's others, you know what I mean, that
yeah.
they're out there.
Right, now we've hit Leicester. Leicester had a loss to Southampton and a loss to Sheffield United. Now, Mr. Chris Wilder was particularly happy about winning that match, and it came out in interviews or was leaked afterwards that Wilder had gone for the manager's position at Leicester in the summer and wasn't chosen. So he wanted to put one over on Leicester for that. Now, it was mentioned in the comments as well, maybe the reason that they won't get rid of Cifuentes is because of potential money issues. And they're not spending on players. They're not doing very much because they're sorting out their points deductions and what they're going to do for the season. So if they're not going to make playoffs anyway, do they really need a brand new manager that's just going to gain them 6-7 points and still not get playoffs? So maybe it's too early to make that decision.
Going back, because they're still in the chat talking about it. Gary O'Neill was the one I was trying to think of too. And then also Brendan Rodgers still out there too. So there's a handful of managers out there that could take Southampton. I again don't know if they would, but I think there's managers out there that if they could get them would be a step up from Eckert. Sorry, moving on. Leicester. Obviously, now we can talk about
first team with a double loss.
Double loss, not great. Marty Cifuentes is under a lot of pressure. Considering their place in the table and points deduction likely coming. not where you want to be. I think they. I think I expected them, and they would have wanted to be, in and around the playoffs, and then, uh, and then um, then you get your deduction, and then you reassess, and go from there. I yeah, I don't know, that's a tough spot for them, because it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because there's no guarantee if you bring a manager in that he makes things better.
Yeah.
There's also, do you want to risk making it worse, knowing that you have, what I'm saying, knowing that you have the deduction coming? Uh, is it good enough to get, what I mean, maybe get your deduction and then make a decision?
Yeah, it makes sense to me to at least wait and see what the deduction is before making that decision. If you end up getting hammered, maybe there's no rush. The team is good enough to survive. That's all you ultimately need now. But if you get away with it and get something light, and you absolutely can still make playoffs and need that push to get up there, then maybe you make the swap and give them a little bit of cash in January to buy a few players.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see when that drops, when it comes down, the deduction. Uh, because I mean, what if they don't get the deduction until halfway through January? You know what I mean? Then it's like, shit. Do we want to make a change now? Does he have time to do anything in the window? Um, I don't know their
Well,
structure. I don't know how they're structured as far as their scouting and bringing players in. I don't know if they have a setup where they bring players in and you deal with them, or if it's, if the manager has a lot of say in that. So, um, maybe it wouldn't matter if you had him in, if you planned on doing a certain way. If you were going to get here, you're going to get anyway. Um, so I don't know. And what can they do? That's another question. With the PSR issues, can they get anybody in January? They may not be able to get anybody.
no, and they would want to get those points sorted before they try and convince any players to come in. Because you would, if you're going to get any sort of decent level player, you would want to be convincing them that they are good enough to help you get playoffs.
Yeah.
In which case, like, you don't know if that's true until you've sorted your points.
Yeah. And then, I mean, here's another point. Can they afford to fire
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, who knows? It's going to be an interesting,
They
deal,
could be very much in the mode. Okay, if we get out of this lightly, we may have a shot at playoffs. But if we don't, we're comfortable being mid-table. We're spending no more money. We're leaving things the way they are. We write off this season. We deal with it in the summer.
Well, I mean, even last summer, I think, what, they bring one player, two players in, like a goalkeeper and one other. I think they didn't do anything really. Boy, that's interesting. Yeah, God, there's so many stories like that through this championship. It's like, there's how any of this is going to happen, wind up, is going to be interesting to watch. It's exciting. But yeah.
Okay, so only 5 teams had a double loss. Charlton is number 2 on that
Oh
list.
no.
Oh no.
No, not Charlton. Surely not.
Charlton. So they lost to Stoke, which is fair enough, and to Coventry, which again, you'd kind of expect. Charlton have had their easy matches, and their end of this half is not particularly easy. And they're starting to run into some pretty strong teams. So going back to their first loss, that was a 1-0 loss to us. We put them on that dirty little slide. But then, in fairness, they had Southampton, Stoke, and Coventry in a row.
Yeah. Well.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah.
That's 4 losses in a row. They are now only 5 points off relegation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry if I don't feel bad for him. It's not even Charl. I don't have a problem with Charlton per se. It is just Nathan Jones. Like, God, he sucks. Um, I mean, he's just
Okay.
he sucks as a human. I'm positive of that. Hate him. I hate that guy. I
Okay.
hate people like that.
Sean has
Sorry.
just mentioned it. We've we've got Charlton soon, right? So I decided to look forward to the next
Yes.
couple of matches,
Yes.
and they're at home to Portsmouth, they're at home to Middlesbrough, they're away to Birmingham, and then they're at home to Oxford.
Okay.
So in those next four matches, how many points do you think they're going to get?
I think they could get 6. I
They would
think they
want
could.
to get six.
I think they could beat. I think they'd be looking at it thinking they're going to target
Oxford
Oxford
and Portsmouth.
and Portsmouth, and
Yeah,
think we need to get 3 points in both those games.
yeah,
Minimum of 4 between the two. You know what I mean? But they're probably going to look at it and think we need to be beating both of them.
yeah.
Because let's be honest, like you say, they're only 5 points out. At this point, you might as well say, okay, we're in a relegation scrap here, and we need
They
to be
only get
beating teams
4
around
points
us.
from four matches. They're sliding. They're
Yeah, I
going
know.
further down that table.
Yeah,
So 6 points will hold them steady,
right. But if
kind
you
of
can
where they
beat,
are.
yeah, if you
Yeah,
can beat Oxford and Portsmouth, that those are teams that are right around that area too. So if you can keep yourself above them, that's going to help. Those are important games for them. Those are 6 pointers for them. You know what I mean?
yeah. There's some numbers in. I saw some numbers in the in the chat, and I'm like, oh, couldn't help myself. And I think those numbers are wrong. But anyway, that was first glance. Okay, right. Let's not dump on Charlton anymore. Finish this off. Next up, Blackburn. Capable of beating anybody on their day, but not doing great. So they had a loss to QPR and then a draw with us, where we kicked them in the last minute of extra time, and they weren't too happy about it. But them's the breaks, kiddo.
Mhm.
So they got 1 point in the last two.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be disappointed not to get 3 from us. I think they had the best road record in the league,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly, or at least they did. Um, so yeah, good tough team on the road. Um, I mean, I kind of had them. I kind of thought they'd be down around it. Actually, thought I'll be honest. After us getting Hyam from them, I thought they might be in serious trouble. I thought they might be relegation fodder, but they've started to pick up some results and doing better. Obviously, the last two not great. you know, um, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be
they'll
one of
be
those
in
teams that'll
amongst
be
it.
down around it. I think they'll be
Yeah,
down
yeah,
around it.
they'll be down around it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think they'll probably survive because on their day they can take anyone out.
Yeah.
On the day. Like they're not
Yeah.
going to win a
Right.
lot of them,
Yeah.
but they will win. And that's one thing I kind of look at for the weaker teams is you don't want to be pulling draws. Draws for 1 point are not going to do anything for you really. You
Mhm.
need to occasionally be able to pull out a win and preferably a win against anybody. So you need to be able to hit those big top teams as well to give you a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got Ipswich tomorrow. So it's at home at least, and then they got Wednesday at home, and then they've got Oxford at home. So 3 home games here in a row.
And not bad opponents either.
Yeah, well, yeah, the 2 for sure. And then they're at Portsmouth. So that run of games right there. So beyond the Ipswich game, um, I think Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford, and Portsmouth. Those are the team. Those are the relegation. Those are the teams that are going to be around relegation. You again. Those are the games you've got to be winning. So they'll be looking to get some points, pick up some points there, and kind of get themselves clear of that relegation zone. And then we'll see if they can do it.
I had to do it. I had to put a comment up. Numbers. I can't stop focusing on those numbers they're arguing about in the chat. No, we're not going to make 4.5 million shirt sales. I don't know where that's coming from. That's crazy, Habs. Okay. Who was next?
I will say this. I will say this. I tried to order some shirts today, and I'm too fat. I've learned that today. I can't find my size, which is bullshit. Either I'm too fat or there's too many fat Wrexham fans.
Is that the American size?
American? Yeah.
Yeah, the larger sizes are only in the UK one.
Yeah, well, no, but they're sold out there too.
Are they sold out as well?
Yeah, they're everywhere. Everywhere they're sold out. So, yeah. Anybody got a connection on a 5X or at least a 4X? I like a 5 because they run a little small anyway. But yeah, I'm fat and I need a jersey. Oh, shoot.
Okay. Right. Sheffield United on the up, the lowest team with a double win. They took out Portsmouth and Leicester.
Yeah,
pretty good
wins. Yeah,
they're in good form.
Portsmouth. That's a game. For the time being. I mean, we've kind of they've been down and around it. So, winning against a team that's close to the table, that's good. I think winning against Leicester is really good. So yeah, that's honestly, they've what have they won 3 on the bounce now? I think they won 3 in the week, didn't they?
They did. Back the weekend through the week and back.
So
in fairness, it was Sheffield Wednesday was their first match as well.
Yeah. Hey,
Derby,
you know what though? I mean, a 9-point week's nothing to be, nothing to frown about for sure. They're one of those teams that I know seems like we say it every week. You just kind of expect them to get out of this relegation area. You don't expect them to be down and around it. And they just haven't figured it out. And then it seems like maybe they're starting to get a run of form. So yeah, that's that'll be I think they're about to go on a run. I think he's got them playing pretty well. I think they'll get clear of the relegation and start pushing up towards the playoffs eventually here.
Okay, so do you want to hear the next 5 matches?
Sure. I know
they are at home to Stoke,
at
home to Norwich, away to West Brom, at home to Birmingham, and then away to Wrexham. That's not the easiest
not
run.
Not an easy run. Not
doable.
An easy run.
It is doable, but yeah.
What was the first one? What was the first one you said?
Stoke.
So that's definitely not an easy game.
Yeah.
At all. You said that was at home though?
That was at home for them. It could break their run. And that's one of the tougher matches. Then they have Norwich, who are trying to get out of the relegation zone as well.
Yeah, we'll get on to that, but they had a good result.
We'll get on to that. But that can be a dodgy match just because they're fighting for survival. Then West Brom away. They could potentially lose that one.
Yeah.
And then Birmingham at home, and then us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have to go through every team, so...
Yeah, I just think they're a team that's good enough. They've got enough talent on that team. They should be better than what they are. I know they've kind of, maybe is the hole too deep? Maybe. I think they've still got a chance though. There is a long way to go, and this division is so topsy turvy.
We need to see how many points they pull out of those next 5 matches,
Yeah, that'll be important. I
because
mean, for
it
sure.
will be important for them. If they don't take 10 points
Hmm.
out of those 5, they're not going to get very much further up the table. They'll go up a little bit, and that's not an easy one to pull 3 wins and a draw
Hmm.
out of that amount. So we'll see.
Yeah.
See what they do. Good one for now, but I expect them to take a little bit of a kick in here soon. Right, Oxford. They had a loss to Norwich, who was pulling them back, and the win didn't do very much for Norwich. And then they had
No, it was a draw. That was a draw. I think you've got that.
Have I got it wrong?
It's a draw. Yeah, that was a draw.
Okay, and then Ipswich.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, draw to Norwich. Yeah, neither here nor there. But Ipswich, get a win against Ipswich. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't.
Nope.
But the fact that they can get results like that is going to be, if they stay up, that'll be why they stay up. Is because
As I was saying with
that.
Blackburn,
Yeah, exactly.
you have to be able to pull off a good result against anybody, including potentially the top teams at some point, in order to get some points. And they did. They pulled it off against Ipswich.
Yeah. Oxford's a tough one. Which, I'll be honest, we played them at home. I thought they were terrible. I thought they were the worst team we saw. I mean, seriously, I think they were the worst team we saw all season. And obviously, maybe it was just on the day. It just didn't work out that day. You know what I mean? Everything must have fell our way. I don't know, but they just did not look good against us. And I don't know if maybe there's some injuries. I don't remember if they had anything like that that could have caused them to be so bad against us. But yeah, I mean, uh, getting a win against Ipswich is nothing to um nothing to shake your head at. I mean, I'm that's an impressive win. I didn't expect it.
Yeah,
For sure. Like I said, and I agree with you. I think if they can stay up, it'll be because they can get some wins like that. But they are going to have to beat some of the teams around them.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got to beat.
You have to push them down.
Swanseas.
Yeah.
You've got to beat the Swanseas. You got to beat. They drew with Norwich, which isn't terrible, but also a win there would have been better. Obviously. But yeah, those games against Norwich, Portsmouth, Swansea, Blackburn, Charlton, Sheffield United, those games are going to be important for them. So yeah, they've got to you got to be beating the teams around them.
Okay. Next up, our pal Swansea.
I think they're getting relegated.
Straight into it. A loss to Derby and a loss to West Bromwich Albion. West Brom.
Yeah. They're in trouble, and I'm not convinced that their new hire is going to help. Because I think he's got a mindset, and I think he's the type of. I think he's probably the right manager at the wrong time. I think he's a manager you bring in the summertime where he's got time to put in what he wants to do. The way he talked, I'm not convinced that he's going to do what needs to be done for them to get a few results here and there. I think he's going to try to. I think the way he talked, at least the few interviews I saw, he seems like a guy that's going to say, "It's my way or the highway. We're going to play this way. This is how we play, no matter what."
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get fired in February. I think they're going to be sitting in the relegation zone, and he's going to get sacked. So I just got that feeling. I could be completely wrong. He may be the next big thing. But it just when you're struggling like this, I don't think that's the type of hire you make.
Yeah.
I know we kind of talked about this last week, and I said it seemed like what's his name? Sean's asking what his name is.
Vitor Matos.
Yes. So he's been an assistant basically everywhere, and I think he had. What did you say? He got his first job over the
He got
summer.
his first main
Yeah,
coaching job this summer, and then was bought out of his contract for £1 million.
yeah. And I mean, I don't think that's the one you go after. I know he coached with, he was a coach under Jurgen Klopp, so he's kind of, that type of man. You know what I mean? He's got his set way he wants to do things, and I just don't know if that's the type of guy you want when you're struggling like that to make a change like that mid-season. Because what may happen, he may get it turned around by the end of the season, but they may get relegated for it. You know what I mean? Like he may get it figured out by the end of the season, but they may be too far down
Yeah.
it may be too late. And I don't know. I said that, and I know I said that to you guys last week. As soon as we listened to the interview, I said I think they're getting relegated. Like I did not sound like the type of guy I would want coming in if we were struggling. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just got a
Okay.
bad feeling about that one.
So Swansea are on a 5-match run of losses. In the last 6 matches, they've got 1 point.
Matt, how you made me laugh. Flipping your clock.
And Vitor has now been in charge for 2 matches and lost them both.
Yeah.
So 3 more matches, and he's maybe in that zone where we can start talking about a quick exit. But yeah, this is not a good start for him.
And we talked about it last week. I mean, obviously they were targeting the guy that ended up at Middlesbrough. So was this even the guy they wanted? Was this just we need to get somebody in quick? You'd like to think it wasn't. You'd like to think they had some time thinking about it, but I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'll be honest with you. Wouldn't surprise me if them and Norwich swap places. I can see Norwich. I could see Norwich getting out because I actually like their manager. I didn't think he was bad at Rangers, and he's done some really good things. That's the type of manager I think could get in. Somebody's been around, done it. It's got success. I think he. I know I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I like that hire as opposed to what Swansea are doing. They're kind of taking a punt.
So for anybody who missed out on it, Swansea were supposed to be getting Hellberg. And at the last minute, Middlesbrough jumped in, apparently made him a better deal and stole him out from under Swansea.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe hard done by Swansea, but you know what? Maybe you fly to him and you sign the contract over there rather than getting him to fly into London and to be in country where he can sign someone else's contract. I know it's done digitally and whatever, but apparently he flew in, had a meeting on the Friday, and then over the weekend was gotten to and moved over to Middlesbrough. Now, for Swansea, their next matches are at home to Oxford, at home to Portsmouth. So that's 2 matches they should have a decent shot at.
Very important matches.
If he loses both of those,
that's
a bad sign.
Yeah.
Bad sign.
Yeah.
Then they are away to Stoke and at home to us. And then away to Coventry. Ouch. They might get nothing in those 3. Like, they could very well lose to Stoke, us, and Coventry.
Now Sean made me laugh. Oh, shoot. Yes.
Well, I can guarantee you they offered more money by accident.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how much money Swansea offered.
Well, here's the other thing, too, though. You got to remember, apparently, Swansea could have had Hellberg in the summer.
Someone?
and passed on him and went with decided to stay with sorry, can't think of his name. I'm bad with names tonight. I can't remember anybody's name. But anyway, it ended up staying with who they had, and that didn't turn out so well. So if you're Helberg,
Sheehan.
yeah, Sheehan, yeah. If you're Helberg, do you say, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, screw you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff it. You know what I mean? You have fun getting relegated. I'm going to go ahead and get try to get promoted. So yeah. Nobody does, Sean. I don't know who he is either.
Well,
Nobody.
these next two matches are huge.
Yeah, massive.
Massive. Because, like I said, the 3 matches after that are quite difficult.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he better win. He better win some points in those matches and then potentially lose the other ones. So,
Yeah, I mean, because it's serious. I mean, on all seriousness, how long do you keep him? Say if he goes on a run. So if they lose the next 5, I mean,
the
how
next
long do
5
you keep?
plus is 2 loss.
We'll say if you lose the next 5, yeah. So it'd be 7
So
on the
there'll be 7
bounce.
in a row. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just keep going in and out. But I mean, if it's that bad, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I keep saying that today. It's gonna be interesting.
Okay. Well, I absolutely put Swansea in the relegation zone at Christmas.
Yeah,
I think that's a good bet.
When we get done with this, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the relegation zone. Who we think will be in it, because I think it's an interesting conversation.
Okay, nearly done here.
Yeah.
Portsmouth. Portsmouth, again, double loss. They had Sheffield United and Bristol City.
Yeah. They probably would have felt like they might have been able to get something from Sheffield United. But I'll be honest, Portsmouth's not playing very well right now. They could be in trouble. Don't have good feelings about them. I think they're struggling. I think their best striker only got 1 goal in 18. That's not good. That math ain't mathing. That's not good. So don't know, man. I don't know about them. I think they could be in for a long season. Definitely gonna be down and around it. I really thought they'd kick on this year. I thought they'd be fine. I thought they were gonna be a mid-table team because they finished I don't remember for sure, 17th, 16th, somewhere in that range last season.
Yeah, they slid quite a bit at the end of the season.
Yeah. But I felt like they were, because that was their first year up, though. They just got promoted. So, it wasn't I didn't think it was a bad finish for them, and I thought they'd kick on.
Second season seems to be an awful killer for teams that survive 1 year and then go back down.
Well, you know what I think a lot? I think what some of it probably is, I think the money, becomes an issue for teams. I don't think somebody, like Oxford, and, who was the other one? So the 3 teams that were the promotion teams last year were Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth, and Oxford. Or was it? Yeah, no, it wasn't Wednesday. It wasn't Wednesday. Who was the other one? It wasn't Wednesday. It was who was the other one? Who was the other one? Did they go down? Somebody go down? I thought they all stayed up. Now you got me confused. I've confused myself.
See.
Who was the other one?
Tell you now, 2 seconds.
Wednesday came up 2 years ago? I said it went 2 years ago. Who were the I can't remember now. Portsmouth, Oxford, Derby. Yeah, it was Derby. That's right. Derby. That's the one. Yeah, so they're doing well. They've got it figured out. I think they got a really good manager though. I like Eustace. I really do like John Eustace. And I picked them to kick on this season too. But I thought Portsmouth would do something similar because I think they've got a good manager too. I just wonder if it's the money though. I think they made some signings. I think they got some guys. They got a handful of guys they've gotten from Australia, and this is not a slight against Australians. I think it's just they're trying to find cheap players. You know what I mean? They're looking for young players in areas, out and around. And so they picked up two or three guys I think from Australia, and I think they just aren't quite uh, working out yet. Maybe they will, but I don't think it was just those guys. But I think they try to do it. They're playing money ball, and where I I just I don't know, man. It's they. I think it's the money. I think that second year thing is definitely a money thing.
Yeah.
I think teams that can't afford to spend, and that's what we saw. I mean, Derby spent some money.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how much they spent, but they spent a good chunk of change. So I think the other teams just couldn't. Oxford obviously don't have a ton of money, and I don't think Portsmouth did either. And so I think they did the best they could, but I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, Mushino is an interesting one because he got them promoted. He joined them in 22-23 season, partway through it. They ended up in 8th. Then the next season, he got them promoted. Then 16th last season.
Yeah.
And now they're currently 22nd, sitting in
Right.
the relegation zone. So how long do you let it slide? Like, do you say, okay, we know we didn't spend money. It's not his fault. We can't afford to get someone better.
Yeah.
We just have to stay with him. Maybe that's why he'll survive. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's a good manager. I mean, you know what I mean? I think he did really well with them. I don't think, like I said, I don't think 16th last season was bad. I don't think that's a bad season for them. But I just think, yeah, I just wonder if the money having to do it again in the championship when they're obviously they're not bringing in a ton of money. Yeah, I think they struggle, and I think some of the guys in the chat are talking. Sean saying Portsmouth, I believe, are fan owned in some capacity, so money is tight. Yeah, I didn't know that. That they had a fan ownership thing. Let's see, Matt Al. Wasn't that long ago Pompey couldn't pay wages. That is bad smell hanging around a club. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just yeah, obviously, I think it's just the money thing, and I think they're going to struggle with that. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't have a good feeling for them. I think they might be in trouble.
They're going to be fighting as well.
Yeah, for sure.
There's 4 or 5 teams here. They're going to be right in it for the rest of the season, kind of.
Yep.
Right. Moving on to Norwich, who should not be down here.
No, they shouldn't.
They had a draw with Oxford.
Yep.
Who they really needed to beat because Oxford were ahead of them. And then they had a win at QPR.
Yeah.
So that was a decent 3 points for them. So they got 4 points in the last 2 matches and they're still in the relegation zone. It didn't move them high enough to get them out. That's how bad they have been.
I just think they were, they're in such poor form. I know you say, obviously Oxford, that's a game you would have targeted and thought we need to try to get a win here. I don't think a draw is bad.
No.
Especially in the form they were in, how bad they had been, just to get some belief back into the players, I think. And then to turn around and win against QPR, I think it was 3-1. That's a great result. Like I said, I was kind of touching on this earlier. I think Philippe Clement is a really good manager. I thought he was good at. I thought he was a good manager at Rangers, but Rangers and Celtic are just kind of their own thing. And if you don't win everything, you're not good enough. You know what I mean? It's just kind of how it is there. So he actually did really well. I thought he had Rangers do pretty well in Europe too. He's a good manager. I just think he was just wasn't quite good enough. The problem was Celtic were winning the league by 15 points or something like that. So that's never good enough at Rangers. You know what I mean? Rangers are never going to be happy with that. So I, I, but I think at Norwich, like you said, they shouldn't be anywhere near this. They've got a good enough squad not to be anywhere near the relegation zone. And I think he's a good enough manager. And I think he's the type of manager, he's got a way he wants to play, but I also think he will do what he needs to do to get some results. You know what I mean? Before he just forces a style of play on a team that aren't ready to do it yet. I think he's got enough, enough about him to, he knows what he's doing. I really like Philippe Clement, and I thought that was a really, really shrewd signing for Norwich. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them start playing a lot better, getting a little belief, and it may take them a while. But I think, because I'm not going to pull it up again, but I know they got a little ways to go to get out. How many points are they off were they like 6 or so from safety, something like that? So they got a little ways to go. But I think they can do it. Wouldn't be surprised if by January we're talking about them being, 20th, 19th, you know what I mean? And then they just slowly work their way up the table. I don't think I think it's too late to be pushing for playoffs, but I think they could get up the table and get themselves well safe though.
Yeah.
With him, because they've got great players, and they've had some injury issues too. And I think they start getting some of those players back. I think that'll be a lot of help. So we'll see.
I see Norwich at some point figuring it out and putting a string of games together, because that's the problem with everything being so tight. Even down there, is you pull 4 matches together in a row, 12 points, you're gonna get yourself out of that drop zone. Things will be so close down there. So, like, you add 12 points to Norwich now; they're on 25. Currently, that puts them up to 14th. Now, I know it's not that simple because everybody else plays games, but just to kind of show you're not ridiculously far off.
Yeah.
Like, they're 4 points away from danger, 4 points, 5 points to get out right now.
To get out right now, okay.
To get out right now. So you pull a string of 4 matches together when all the teams around you are getting 3 points. You're losing, 3 points, 4 points out of 4 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I think they can do it. And I like I said, I think Philippe Clement is a really good manager. I like him. So I think they'll get it figured out.
Yep. Sheffield Wednesday then. We're not sure what we need to say about them now.
What can you say?
Point, look, 2 losses in a row. They're trying their best. They're still fighting.
Yeah.
But they've been unlucky with a couple of matches when they would have hoped to have gotten the points with their play. But they're not going to dig out of this hole.
No, not now, for sure not.
They weren't going 27 points. They weren't going to anyway, but they're 27 points off.
Yeah,
they're done.
27 points from out of the relegation zone. Is that what it is? Is it that much? Jesus Christ! Yeah, they're down. So anyway, not that was a surprise, but I think we all expected that anyway before everything. But yeah, they're in trouble. Hopefully, here you go. Hopefully they get a good owner in who's got some money and is going to be willing to put some money into it and can rebuild it. Let's be honest, they've got a big enough crowd. You know what I mean? They've got enough fans. They got a fan base. They should be able to kick on out of League One. They shouldn't need to be there for long. Get that if you got somebody that can put some money in, and we know that you're the way you can spend money in League One's a little different. So if you got somebody that's got the money to spend it, they can take advantage of that, and because they're going to have to rebuild that whole thing. They've got nobody. I mean, I don't expect hardly any of those guys, to be there next season. I think it's a complete rebuild.
Yeah.
Maybe a handful stay, but not much. But they've got a good academy. They got young players that can, that they can sell or whatever, or bring them into the team in League One. Break them in. But they'll be okay. I think they'll get it. If they can get a decent owner, I think they'll be fine. And I think they won't be long out of the championship. I don't think.
Nope. Okay, so that's all the teams done. Still have a few minutes. What do you want to talk about?
We had some starred comments. Oh, real quick. Who do you think finishes right now? Who's your pick for the bottom three?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday, Swansea, and Portsmouth. I think Oxford might survive.
I think I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I think that's where I'm at right now. Those seem to be the ones. I tell you what, though, look out for Charlton. They may be in trouble, and it would make me so happy if they went down. Nathan Jones going down would be great.
They have some very tough matches coming up soon.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Okay. Anyway, I do have some. Let's see. I started some comments, so let's see what we had here. Let's see what do we got. Yeah. So kind of. Yeah. There you go. Stupid enough to look at. Yeah. I'm curious, Sean, because I know how John feels about it. Would you have been happy keeping Eustace and just staying? Let's say you finished maybe just outside the playoffs or just in, what I mean, right around it, but didn't have the drop to League One, didn't do the giant rebuild. Because you guys probably, let's be honest, you guys probably would have spent the money in the championship. It may have been a year ahead of where you are now. Probably, I mean, you would have been a year ahead of where you are now. But it would have been with Eustace. Would you be happy with that, or are you glad it happened so that you could get Chris Davis in? And is he better? Do you think he's a better manager than Eustace is in the long term? I'd be curious because I know, like, John. I think John is happy to he was happy to be rid of Eustace. So I'd be curious what another Blues fan thinks about that. Sean throwing another one of top 6 predictions. Oof. I don't know if I'm ready for that one.
Yeah,
that's
it's
tough.
It's a little up there. Okay, the only ones I'm quite comfortable with, I think Ipswich are going to be in the top 6.
I do too.
I think that's almost certain. They'll be in the top 6 somewhere.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm comfortable with Ipswich and Coventry and nobody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust any of the rest of those teams.
They are very likely, obviously. Looking at their position now, they are very likely to do it.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
On him. But I'm looking at the teams around us now, and I'm getting it slowly more confident that we've a realistic shot at the playoffs.
I think we've got a better shot than I thought we did.
Yeah, and obviously I think Birmingham have a nice shot as well.
I think it may depend on how big of a run do Southampton put together? How quickly do they get up the table? Does Sheffield United get things figured out and get up the table? Is it too late for them? It might be. You know what I mean? They got a long way to go, but it's possible. They've won 3 on the bounce. You know what I mean?
I still think there are weak teams. I don't think they're going to pull enough points in the next 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I think that will show. The next 5 will show whether they're getting playoffs or no shot.
because I just could see. It would not surprise me at all to see Millwall falling out. Wouldn't
Mm.
surprise me at all to see Stoke falling out. Wouldn't, and Stoke's been great this season, but I don't know. It's Stoke.
Stoke have had 3 losses in the last 5.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold on any of those teams right now. Bristol City, I'm not sold on them. Uh,
Yeah.
I think we're better than they are.
Millwall
We
had a
definitely were
negative
the other night.
3 goal difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. None of those teams are like blowing me away. And you like, even like, they're not in the top 6 right at the moment. But Hull, I have no like. I don't think Hull's going to be there. I don't think they're consistent enough to be in the playoffs. I'm not. I'm not blown away right now by the teams that are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
None of those teams are like, oh yeah, they're definitely gonna be there. I just don't feel that way about any of them. Middlesbrough, maybe. Middlesbrough would be the one where I feel like they probably should end up in the playoffs, but also new manager, who knows?
Yeah.
That
But
could
then,
fall apart.
but interestingly, then if you start looking behind us,
Hmm.
right, and you're looking at the teams, okay, we've already said Ipswich Town are going to be up there. But
Yeah,
after that, then you got Derby, West Brom, QPR. You have to go down to 14 to Southampton to say they're likely to be up there
yeah,
by the end of that season. But a
yeah,
lot of these other teams, you're kind of probably I don't think they'll be consistent enough.
yeah. Let's see. Oh, back to what I asked Sean. He said I wanted to keep Eustace, but I'm happy with Davies. And I think the owners would have moved on from Eustace by now if we did keep him. And I think they learned a big lesson with Rooney. And that's the thing. Maybe it was worth learning that lesson. You know what I mean? Maybe they needed that to get things figured out. But I don't know. It'd be who knows? Who knows how things could have worked out. Let's see. What else did we have starred? I like this one. Sharpton is in free fall. Are they going to fire Nathan? I mean, they signed me to like a 5-year contract or something
Yeah,
like that.
they
A
gave
4 or
him a
5-year
really long
contract.
contract.
I honestly, as long as they're within a shout of staying out of relegation, like as long as he's, I think that was all they wanted. I think they just wanted him to keep them up. I think he's probably done enough already that just about they'll probably stay up just because of the great start they had. But you never know; they could go down. But I do think with the great start, it probably gave them enough cushion. And some of these other teams just aren't. I mean, they're so bad. You know what I mean? They're so bad right now. Um, it'd be tough for them. It'd be tough to see. And I think as long as he's not in the relegation zone, I don't think he's in any
Yeah.
danger. I don't think they'll fire him. I think they knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, I think they've decided this is it. They don't have the money. They're going with who they have. And because I do think Nathan Jones would probably stay with them if they went back to League One.
Yeah.
And have another shot to come back up.
Here's another one. Kind of again random. Wrexham receives 18 million of government from government despite Hollywood backing. Yeah, I mean I think that's kind of a harsh headline.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like a newspaper
well,
headline. What do we expect? Like,
yeah, I mean
despite Hollywood backing.
Well, the thing was like this has been known for like 3 years. Like that's not new. There, I mean, it was funny.
Actually, I think this might be a news story. I think it's potentially another set of money linked
Another
to
set of what?
linked to a different part of the projected upgrades.
Well,
So,
okay. Well, maybe it's different. Maybe they're doing. Yeah. Are they talking about
but
doing
so
a different?
what?
Is it towards?
Everybody does deals with the local government for
Yeah. Well, I mean,
infrastructure
yeah,
prize
yeah.
stuff. Like it's
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm positive that Birmingham got a good chunk off of the government for their stuff too. I could maybe I'm wrong, but I don't. I don't think so.
well,
Um,
they certainly got a massive package with regards all the infrastructure,
right.
tram lines, all this sort of
Yeah.
stuff put in with it. But
Yeah.
that's just standard. Whenever you build
Right.
something, you need things with it. But yeah, look,
Yeah.
I don't begrudge people if they're getting
No.
some money from the government as
No.
part of a larger project.
You know what's interesting? The uh in the MLS. um, the way they're set up to become a team in the MLS, if you want to become a franchise
Mm,
or whatever, that's part of it. Like your stadium has to have government funding.
yeah.
Like it's part of like it's not even like no, you can't just build your own. It's got to be like tied in to the city, and it's got to be they want it within a certain mileage of downtown, whatever city that you're talking about. We've had a big ordeal about that in Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is one of the cities that are trying to get in the MLS next, and that'll,
Cities shouldn't be paying for it, I'm sorry.
huh?
Cities shouldn't be paying for it directly.
No, not directly, but it's like they want like a certain percentage of the stadium build
Yeah.
done by local government, like so it's tied into the local community. It's not just, um, you know, yeah, not just outside. Okay, so anyway, let's see. All right, here we go. Um, this was the other one he asked this earlier, but we can get onto it now if you want. Um, predictions for the starting 11. Hoping it includes Broadhead and Windass. I've been saying that for weeks now. I would love to see those two start together,
Mm,
and I thought we talked about this earlier. We did get to see those guys uh, together for a bit on the other day on Saturday. I thought it looked really good. It was really attacking. I don't know if that's something that you do every game, but I think against certain opponents, teams that are going to sit back and let you come onto them, I think having two players like that, I think could be really valuable.
mm.
So we'll see. I don't know that he'll do that this weekend, although I do
I,
think
I I don't think we're ready for that. I think that's a January thing.
I
Bring in
I
someone else to work with them.
well here's one
There's
thing.
a couple of players need better passing.
You're probably right. I think that's probably fair. But if you're gonna have the ball, if it's gonna be a game where you're gonna have the ball, I and you know it, and the team's just gonna sit back. I don't think it's a bad thing to do. I don't. But here's the thing: Parky likes to have subs, and you know what I mean. He likes to have a
Mm,
like for like, and so if you're playing them both, who's your like for those two? You really don't have them. You know what I mean? There's not necessarily a like for like in the team if you're starting them both. Um,
then you just have to change formation.
yeah, well, and you would, and
Mm,
that would be what it is. I mean, and that's what he's done. I mean, that's what he did. I think he started out with a midfield three, and then when he brought Windass in, it was he who came off. It was I'm trying to think who came off when Windass came in. Was it Dobson maybe or no? Dobson came on. It was I can't remember. Might have been
James.
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 So I think he dropped James and then threw Windass up front. So yeah, I think it was yeah, I mean he showed that he's willing to jump back and forth between those two formations.
Mm,
Um and I think I do think in the summer I think that was I think the ultimate goal is to get to where we're playing that box midfield,
yeah.
and it's with Windass and Broadhead. It's more of an attacking
Yeah.
type
Three.
of it's
Mm,
an attacking three. But I think O'Brien, I think when he's put it in and he had O'Brien in, I think O'Brien was just so good up front um, at causing mayhem that it was hard to
mm.
it's hard to justify changing it because it was working. And I get it. Um, so we'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I do think I think at the weekend I think they will be a team that'll probably sit back a bit though because I think it's just how they play. Um, so uh, I wouldn't be. I mean, I think it could work against them. But if you do that, who do you play? Let's say if you started those three, who do you start as the other two? Um, personally, I would still like to see O'Brien playing deeper. And I think he is a good enough passer to the
Yeah.
point you were making there. You need
Yeah.
some better passers. I think he's done that in the past, and I would like to see him play deeper for us. So maybe put him alongside Sheaf.
If,
I think that'd be really interesting. I think a
yeah.
midfield four, that the box four of
Totally. Yeah.
Sheaf, O'Brien, and then Windass and Broadhead.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really, really. The
And
chat's going crazy with
and let Windass pull back in that scenario if you
yeah,
wanted a
for
more
sure.
flat midfield.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And he's shown that he'll do it. You know what I mean? He's willing. He's willing. Um, the chat's talking about Scar and Doyle.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I thought Doyle was a game changer for us. Ollie, are we going to see
No,
Ollie?
wrong one.
Oh,
Um,
I don't think we'll see Ollie Rathbone for a bit. And yeah, but Doyle and Scar, I think is there you go. By the way, with me, Scar versus Doyle. If you're gonna be the team pushing, controlling the game, you want Doyle. But if you're the underdog, Scar probably be better. Yeah, and I think I don't disagree with that.
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, having a left footer on the left side who could play the ball forward. I mean, it was a game changer. When he came into the game, it changed. I thought that totally opened them up. I thought they couldn't handle it. He was making runs forward, creating so much on that left hand side. I thought he looked fantastic, and I was like, "Oh my god!" This is why it was
Why we
like you
got him.
saw it. It's like that's why we
Yeah.
brought him in. That's why we wanted him, and it was very obvious, and it was great. I thought he was fantastic, and again, Scar's been fantastic, and he wasn't. I don't think he was bad the other day or Saturday. But I think we needed to make that change to be able to get forward. You know what I mean?
We know exactly what we're going to get from Scar. Scar is
Yeah,
at his ceiling.
yeah,
That's as good as Scar plays.
yeah.
We're hoping Doyle can
Doyle
get it
can get there.
and play to his max, which we don't know how high that is.
Yep, totally agree. Yeah, I thought Doyle was fantastic. I do think this weekend, I think I'd start Doyle because I do think I think we're gonna have a lot of the ball. Even being away, I still think I think they're gonna sit back and try to hit us on the counter. But I see these guys, you kids. See, this is Josh propaganda. Okay, this is all Josh's propaganda, Chris. All right. I don't hate Scar. All I said was he wasn't as good as EOC, and Phil Parkinson agreed with me because he played EOC all season last season. I'm sorry. Okay, I can't help it. Can't help it. I don't hate Scar, and he's been fantastic for us. Been fantastic. Anywho, frickin' Josh and his propaganda. Josh Anthony, never heard of him. He's probably rolling on the floor right now if he's listening to us. Oh, shoot. No, it's all fun and games. Well, was there anything else with it? Hashtag save Josh. Save me. He's going to fire me off the show if I keep talking crap about him. Let's see. What else do we have? I started a few. Here we go. Here's an interesting one. What do we do about Macca?
Put him on the bench.
Fair enough. You know what? You got to hand it to him. I thought
he played really well the last couple of matches.
He's been really good, and good on him. I'm happy for him.
This is another one where this scenario is the last two matches he has played to his total ability.
Yeah,
we have basically seen his ceiling, and it was good enough to cover.
Yeah,
while we don't have our best players. Same idea with Scar. We know what the upper ceiling is. Lately, they've been playing to that level.
Yeah.
But we still need Kakache to come back. I saw
that. I'm not pulling it up, Sean. I don't want him to beat me up if I ever make it over there. Oh shoot. Um, no, I thought, yeah, I think he's been fantastic the last few games, and he's probably, you know what, he's probably been frustrated. He said it. He said as much. He's been frustrated, not getting as much playing time as he wants, and so, like a professional, when he got his chance, he took it, and he's played really well. So I mean, still, I think as soon as Kakache's healthy, I think you play Kakache because it's just a different level. I think Kakache just you know his youth and his speed and I mean he just brings more to the table, a little more to the table. Um, and like you said, I think with Maka, that's as good as it's going to get. And I think with Kakache, I think we don't know where it could get. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It could
yeah.
get much better, even from what we've seen. And he's been really good when he's been healthy. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm still interested to see what happens in January with the wingbacks.
Hmm.
Because I
Well,
still think I would think you bring some in. Yeah.
yeah, Matt keeps
Um,
asking this. I think it's fairly straightforward to go through this in my
mhm.
head. Lee
Yeah.
is the first one. He's been
Yep.
getting no minutes,
Yep.
even though he's actually
Yep.
in the squad.
Yep.
The players out of the squad at the moment, Jay Rodriguez and Cannon, I don't think they'll be coming
I
back
don't
into the
think so
squad.
either.
Then now
I
they may get a game, they may get a run out in January when it's free. You can have anybody you want. There may be an opportunity there. Might maybe put them in the window for a move themselves or whatever, but I don't see them coming back in full time. So that's
yeah.
one out.
Yeah.
Rathbone needs to get on the pitch and prove himself before January,
He
or
might be
he'll
in
find
trouble.
himself sidelined.
Yeah, I agree
Um,
with that. I wonder if here's the problem. I wonder if we're already progressing so much that we're getting past his level.
um,
You know what I'm saying? Like even at his best, I wonder if he's not good enough now
yeah,
with the players we brought in.
okay,
I wonder if they'd be looking to bring somebody,
yeah.
move
I
on.
brought this up because it's wrong. We also need someone else out because we'll bring Ward back in. We don't need anybody out because Ward has a spot already.
Yeah.
So Ward had a spot. He got injured. His spot is
Mhm.
still there.
Yep. Yep.
So no one needs to go to bring Ward back. I'm assuming Ward will be coming back by then as
Mm-hmm.
well, unless he actually has issues coming back from the injury. We have to wait and see on that. He said it's a tough recovery,
Yeah.
so we'll see. Hardy's an interesting one. Will he go? I think it's pretty much up to him.
Yeah.
If anything, he could be getting less minutes in
Mhm.
the second half.
And that's one of those signings. Like I'm not upset that they made that sign.
Yes,
Like some
yeah.
people would be down on that because like, oh, what was the point? At the time when he
Ward
was available,
was
he
registered.
was probably
Ward
you know
was registered.
okay.
He was.
I don't remember when he got. When did he get hurt? Was it after
He
the
was.
window closed? I can't even
Yeah.
remember what game it was. But yeah, it seems like he was. Seems like he would have been. Um, but the you got me off. What were we talking about? Threw me off there. Uh, who were we talking about? We're just talking about somebody. Um, I'm confused. Oh,
Hardy.
Hardy. Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah, I think it was a good signing at the time. I think it was the right. He was probably when we brought him in, he was probably our best striker. You know what I mean? Maybe you'd argue Smith. Him or Smith at the time when we signed him early in the summer. But then when we brought in Windass and you brought in Kiefer Moore, all of a sudden he starts, bring in Nathan Broadhead, and it's like, okay, what are we doing with him? And to be honest, we got him relatively cheap, so it was like, you know, it wasn't that bad of a thing. I could see for him, for his career at his age, he's going to want to play. So I would be completely surprised if he's not doesn't go out on loan. You know what I mean? At least on loan. in January. Probably drop down to League One or maybe one of the lower teams in the championship for a bit. Yeah, I wouldn't. Nick's saying, yeah, they're still saying he was injured before September 4th. I see. Maybe he didn't get. Did he not get?
I'm
It
trying to find
was.
out for sure.
We did have an empty. We did have. Oh, you know what? I think they're right because I think that's the spot Rathbone ended up filling. We left it open.
Um,
And it was because I think I remember having the conversation of having of whether you who would get back in time, who would get back first, because we weren't sure how long Ward was going to be out for, and so it was either Ward or he got hurt against Millwall. That was the game he got hurt in. So I don't know if you can look see when that game was. So he may not have been registered.
Still looking.
Millwall game.
I'm sure I'm probably wrong, but
Mad Al said August 30th was the Millwall game.
Okay, that doesn't mean he wasn't registered.
Yeah. Don't remember.
Because don't forget, guys, they don't know how bad his injury is.
Yeah.
They have to make a decision on whether he could be back in November, December.
Yeah.
So
I know we had that open.
How late it goes.
We definitely had an open slot though, for sure, because that's the one that Rathbone ended up getting. That'd be. I can't remember. It's been so long ago. It really wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it's forever ago. Shoot. Yeah. What else we got? Was there anything else we wanted to touch on?
No, we're over 2 hours now.
Yeah, or 2 hours. Probably good. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Oh shoot. Yeah, we'll be interesting to see because I do think we got to get some players out. It'll be interesting to see how many we end up bringing in. I think Al's probably close with 3. I think we spend money and bring 3 in. But we'll. Anyway, well.
Okay, finally, I give in.
Who gives in?
You're correct. I have the official list here from the Wrexham website. Ward is not on it.
There you go. Oh.
God damn it.
Someone will bitch.
Hate being wrong.
Yeah, that's what you get. Oh, shoot. All right, well. There you go. Cody, Hardy, and Lee out, Matt Al says. What do you think about that?
Cody isn't going out.
Unless he can do some sort of something that makes sense for him. So I'll tell you what, he ain't going to play. I don't think there's a chance in hell he plays. And if he's playing, we're in trouble. And I hate that. I hate to say that. I hate to be like that because I really liked him. I was so happy when he came in. Like he spoke so well. I thought, I like this. This is going to be great. And he just couldn't do it, man. He was bad. He was poor. Yeah, that sucked. But no, that was different. Yeah, Wolves are after Cody. It'd be interesting to see if that's something ever comes of that. As far as
is that true though?
I mean, I'm sure there's something to it. I'm sure they probably want him, whether he wants to leave the money. Because he's probably be leaving a lot of money on the table, and I don't know how much they're going to want to pick up to get him in. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be the hard part, is making the money work. Is he willing to leave money on the table to do it? And I think it's probably what would have to happen. You know what I mean? So who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. No. Well, if you ain't got nothing else, I ain't got nothing else.
Nope.
Nothing. Let's see. Hold on. Let me check with our buddy real quick. John, you got anything else? Nope. All right. Well, Blue Bastard. We'll see you later, buddy.
I've got a bombshell though.
Bombshell. Let's hear it. Go.
God damn it, Nick Donlan was correct.
That son of a bitch. Love it. All right. On that bombshell, we will see you all soon.